We have been learning about different types of poems. Last week we learned about haikus, where you have 5, 7, 5. We learned about acrostic poems, where you have one word written on the left side of your paper, and for each letter of that word, you describe the word either with a sentence or an adjective. We learned about cinquain poems, and we described Sally with that poem. We described penguins. And then we also wrote a quatrain, which quad means 4. It's a 4-line poem that has a pattern. So this is our poetry. We're keeping it with that. Today we're going to write a color poem. A color poem is where you actually describe a particular color, maybe your favorite color, or maybe just a color that you like a whole lot, that you can think a lot of words to use to describe it with. And there is a particular pattern. There are 3 different patterns you can use. I'm going to use the first pattern, and I'm going to use the color that I like a whole lot. It's my favorite color, chocolate and brown, but I'm just going to say brown when I'm describing it. So I'm going to erase our tree too, because I'm going to need a lot of space. So for pattern 1, it's pretty long, but it gives you the pattern. Like brown is, and then you dot the color of whatever you want. So you use this pattern for each one. You just plug in your color and word. So brown is the color of chocolate. And by the way, I will post all of these papers where you can see them on our private Facebook page, or I will send them to your parents. Brown is cozy. Brown is the color of warmth. Makes me feel warm and cozy when I think about it. Brown is a sweater. I love to wear the color brown. It makes me feel good. Brown tastes like a chocolate chip cookie, or you could put a crispy cookie. For space, I'm just going to write that. Brown smells like a fall candle. Do you notice some sort of a pattern? The senses, what it looks like, what it smells like, what it tastes like. Brown sounds like branches blowing in the breeze. I'm just gonna put branches blowing breeze. So I'm running out of room. And also that would be an alliteration where all of the letter sounds have the same sound. Branches blowing in the breeze. Brown feels like soft velvet. I think about maybe at Christmas time wearing velvet and how soft it feels. When I put my fingers on it, it feels soft, and brown is warm. It's a warm color. So that combination is perfect. Brown looks like steaming coffee. I like to drink coffee every morning, and I like to add a little bit of cream to it, so it's this creamy brown color, and it makes me feel so good. It makes me feel warm, and it gives me a little bit of caffeine as a pick-me-up in the morning. It just helps me get up in the morning. Brown makes me happy. Brown is my favorite color. So in your poem, you would keep your color for every one of those. You would begin it with that. And then all of these would be the same: taste, smells, sounds, feels, looks, the five senses. And then you would change each of these to go along with your color. So this is an example of a color poem. I'd love for you to write one. You can also think about the examples I read this morning when I read to you my class's old poetry book, and maybe illustrate it. You could write a whole book with a lot of different colors, or you could just write one poem and illustrate it. Or you could add it to your poetry book if you've been making an example of every type of poem that we've been learning about. Well, I hope you have a great afternoon. Happy poetry writing. I'll talk with you soon.